Earlier this week, I got to see an advanced screening of If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Let's talk about it. Hey, welcome to the video, a brand new movie review. Today I'm talking all about the upcoming movie, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. It's coming to cinemas across the UK on the 20th of February. I've seen it at an advanced screening. Let's talk about it. Before we do, as always, a friendly reminder, these are just my thoughts. Don't let this dictate whether or not you go and see it. You might see it, feel totally differently to me. That's okay. Movies aren't made to cater for everyone. Without any further ado, we start talking about this film, and I haven't done an advanced screening for a long time, so I was very excited to be back seeing a film before its release date. This film, I believe, has been out in the States and elsewhere for a little while now, but it's yet to be released here in the UK. It's still yet to be released here in the UK as I'm recording this, but I've seen it early. And all I can say with this film is I get why people like it. It's a very acquired taste in terms of a film. It's a Picture House film. I believe it was also an A24 film. Again, I have a love-hate relationship with the A24 films. I either really like them or I'm just not really that keen. And again, that's because I think A24 has such a target niche for their films, and generally I don't tend to sit within their bracket and the films that they sort of produce. But regardless, I went to go and see it, and I didn't know it was an A24 film when I booked to see it. And I didn't quite grasp it. And I think the reason I didn't quite grasp it was because there was a lack of plot. The whole idea of this film is trying to convey this kind of emotion of, you know, basically this strong, empowering woman, and how much she's having to go through, and how much, you know, she's having to look after everybody else, and how everyone else comes before her. And it is sort of just showing off that this is the reality for many people across the world. And this is ultimately what some women, you know, I think is the main target, but it happens for men as well. But the whole point of this film was kind of to empower women, and how this is kind of daily life for a lot of females across the UK, but also the world. And it really did convey that, and it did convey how much sometimes we take for granted, like our mum, and how much, you know, your mum's sort of done for you, and how much she sacrificed to make you a great person, and that sort of thing. And I think it did that really nicely. My problem with it is there just wasn't much of a story. Like, I never felt like there was a narrative in terms of what are we trying to do. Like, there never felt like there was an end goal, and sort of the ending came around and I was like, and now we're done. Never really quite got it. I just feel like the plot was non-existent, and I just feel like it was a film that was made to deliver a message, which it did correctly and it did really well, but I just didn't understand, as far as sitting back and watching a story, I just didn't quite grasp it. I just felt like I was watching somebody exist for an hour and a half, and whether that was intentional or not, I don't know, but I didn't really vibe with it. I just didn't quite get it. But like I say, I've seen loads of reviews and loads of people are hyping up this film, and rightly so, because it does do what it kind of wants to do, which is targeted for a very specific audience. And if you're in that audience, you will really like it. Does that make sense? So I'm not trying to slate this film. I just think it wasn't for me. And also, I'm a male, and I think this film really was such an empowering film for females, which I am so here for. I am so here for that. But as a male, I therefore probably didn't connect to it as much as somebody who maybe does relate to her and her character a bit more. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's always worth bearing in mind, and that's something I always consider when I think about these films. But yeah, I just didn't quite get it in terms of a story, but in terms of the messages that it was trying to convey, I really got it, and I really understood it, and I really, really liked it. I really did. I think the sort of problem that I had with the lack of plot is because they tried to do too much, that therefore it felt super crammed, super rammed full of stuff, and it was just trying to do so much, but then actually ended up doing nothing at all for me. And I do kind of, I think that's the whole reason that I didn't vibe with it, just because it was kind of one extreme to another, and I just feel like it was an almost unfinished film. Does that make sense? That's the best way I can describe it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, this is a film with a target audience, and if you're not for that target audience, and if ultimately you're not a female, I don't think you'll vibe with it as much, because this is such an empowering female story, which I adore, and I love seeing these type of movies that really empower people that often don't get their voices and kind of their profile heard. And I think this is a great film for that. So yes, I did enjoy it, but I also didn't enjoy it. I was really torn with it, but I can understand why people really, really like it. And if this is sort of your thing, and if kind of powerful, meaningful films is what you love, you're gonna absolutely love this film. You really, really are. So If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is in cinemas across the UK, I believe on February 20th. I may be wrong, have to double check that. If I'm wrong, I will have inserted some sort of text over the video, but I believe it's February 20th. There's so many films coming out, I have to remember when the release dates are, but I believe it's February 20th. Before we wrap up this movie review, as always, what do I rate it out of 10? Will it be joining this DVD collection? I'm going to give it slap bang in the middle, a 5 out of 10. Like I say, enjoyed it for what it was, but also didn't enjoy it with certain aspects. It's slap bang in the middle with a 5 out of 10. Will it join this collection? Probably not. I got what I needed to get out of this film. It's not really one that I'm going to rush to rewatch, just purely because there wasn't, for me, much of a story that I kind of gelled with and understood. So no, it won't be joining this collection, and that's if it gets a DVD release, because I never know what films are likely to get DVD releases anymore. I used to think that Apple films never got a DVD release, but then F1 did, and I know it was also a Warner Bros. Film. Like, it's crazy. So if it does get a DVD release, that is. So there we go. But no, it won't be joining my DVD collection if it does. And as always, in the description below is the movie plot, a link to the movie trailer, as well as a link to my movie review playlist. It features every single movie review that I've ever done. More to come soon, and I will see you in another video, and fingers crossed, another one of those movie reviews very soon.